right, this is my little cooking show that I put together for y'all. This is to show Meghan Markle how it's done in the kitchen. Okay? I was not impressed with her, okay, after what she put the Queen through, you know, in her last years, and spreading all the gossip and bringing scandal to Buckingham Palace. But I'll tell you one thing. I was grateful that there was a biracial princess, you know, for once. And I know you're all going to say, oh boy, and you're going to tune out. Just stick with me here. Everybody wants to see someone that looks like themselves, okay? Remember the little people we all played with? You know, I didn't always want to play with the one with the blonde hair, the mama with the blonde hair with the ponytail. I wanted one with red hair and freckles like me. We all want to see someone that looks like us. But anyway, she turned out to be a fail. So if her and Harry get divorced, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move in there and be a stepmama to them children. But anywho, in the meantime, we have Pamela Anderson as well. You know, proof that you can turn a hoe into a housewife. I love the new leaf that she's changed. I'm just joking. But she is just the epitome of an angel. She just looks beautiful in her garden, you know, with her fruits and vegetables, away from Hollywood. Okay? Away from Hollywood, being a mama to her children. You know, what is more beautiful than that? So it's a trend. Trad wives, you know, with different, what is it called? Different expectations. Kind of, you know, kind of a modern twist on a trad wife, is that, if that's possible. It's just a wonderful thing. I don't care if it's trending. If it brings the girls, you know, back down to earth, gets them away from their Starbucks and, you know, fancy clothes and back into the kitchen in aprons, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Anyways, we got 4 chicken breasts, which I cut up with scissors, okay? If you don't like chopping stuff, cut it up with your scissors, okay? Don't use your devil's lettuce scissors, okay? Nobody wants your meal to taste like a criminal pot of goodies, okay? And I have a celery stalk. I always use my middle stalks for, we're trying to brown this up and it's taking forever. I always use the inner celery stalks for cooking, okay? I use the outer ones for juice or dips or whatever. And I use 2 carrots, and I used almost a whole onion because I love onions, okay? And I knew a blind man, and he would go into the grocery store, and he would ask you to select him an onion because he'd make himself peanut butter and onion sandwiches. I don't know if it was just an excuse to talk to the ladies, but, you know, just a thing. And I tried onion and peanut butter, and it's actually very good. Onion and lettuce as well. So, we have garlic powder, onion powder, salt and pepper, and a spritz of the thyme, okay? Thyme is really good for sinuses, and it's pollen season, so we all need a little bit, you know, defense. Good for colds and things like that. My kids don't like rosemary. Another good way is lemon and rosemary for a recipe, but they don't like rosemary, but you could add that in there. Or you can just buy the poultry season and add a sprinkle of that in there. I'm out of butter, so we're using avocado oil and a little bit of olive oil. I'm trying to get my brands on there because you know what? It helps the algorithm. And we all know the algorithm is a non-forgiving entity. What else did I add in here? Okay, we're just trying to brown this up a bit because you can make this without browning your chicken. You can just add everything in here and essentially boil everything. But I don't like it that way. My favorite meal is chicken and dumplings. And if I'm going to make it, I'm going to make it right. From, you know, it's for everybody to eat, but I'm just having a week. And my neighbors have workers over there, and I got to shut my blinds. Whenever someone comes lurking into the neighborhood, I close my blinds, my curtains. Because you never know what kind of tidbits of information they're going to sew together, and they're going to know your schedules. Don't matter if you're 20 or you're 80. Take precautions when you have new people in town around your area. And, okay, so what we're going to do, this is taking a little long. I guess there was a little bit of water. I wash my chicken, and sometimes I don't dry it. Now, sometimes I'll use broth. I'll use a bone broth in here, or a bouillon cube. And sometimes I use milk and water mixture. Whatever you have on hand, you can use. But today, we are splurging, and we have Campbell's mushroom soup. So we're going to add a can of this. Once we brown this off, we're going to add a can of cream of mushroom soup, a can of water, maybe two cans of water, 3 maybe. We'll see after everything's added. And we're going to add our taters, okay? Which look at, I'm not fancy. I'm not measuring out and dicing everything up pretty. Women and men, we don't have time for that. We just rough chop it. That's what they call it, rough chopping. Rough living, rough chopping. So we are going to, I'm going to pause this while I brown this off and get everything started. Otherwise, we're going to be here forever and ever. And I'm not a chit-chatter. I don't like talking, you know me. But I love making content. I love YouTube. It's helped me process a lot of emotions, hate, rage, sadness. And I would love to make content all day. I would love to have a camera crew follow me around and record my boring life. I love it. But I run out of ideas is what I do. And sometimes I feel my ideas aren't good enough. But if you're a content creator, everything is content. Just remember that. Everything. The one video you may not think is going to do well is going to be your highest rated video. I'm just going to make sure that's not melting. So, come on. What else do I need? I'm forgetting something. I know I'm forgetting something. Okay, so I'm just going to show you while this cooks. Alright, I'm just going to add, I added the can of soup, and I've added 3 cans of water. Okay, because once it starts to boil, the water content from everything is going to add to. Remember to scrape the sides of everything, okay? That extra morsel of food, you know, everything counts. I don't even recycle anymore because they don't even recycle when they take it to the facility. Everything gets thrown in a pile of garbage anyway. So I've stopped. Sometimes if I have a real lot of stuff, I'll throw, you know, I'll make a recycle bin, but I'm done with it. I'm over it. My carbon footprint is smaller than everybody's. I forgot to add my potatoes. Before this boils, add your potatoes or they're going to be real starchy, real yucky. I don't know the scientific word. Okay, so we're going to add this and then bring it up to a boil. Okay? And we're going to boil it for about only 15 minutes, okay? Usually potatoes take 20 minutes to boil, okay, to soften. But because we're going to add the dumpling mix on top of here, they're going to cook another 20 minutes. So 15 minutes should be really good. And this will thicken up as well because of the starch from the potatoes, okay? I feel like I'm forgetting to tell you all something, but okay, so we're going to bring it up to a boil, okay? I'm going to probably pause this, but we'll bring it up to a boil. And then turn it down to maybe 6 for 15 minutes, okay, while the potatoes cook. And then we're going to turn it down to 3, okay? You don't want this to be boiling when you're adding your dumpling mix, okay? Otherwise, your dumplings are going to be real tough, okay? And we want them real soft, really cloud-like, okay? So what you're going to do, once this boils, again, turn it down. Wait about 5 or 10 minutes until it's at a very slow slimmer, whatever that. And then we're going to add the dollops of the biscuit mix on top. Cover it. You have to cover it for the biscuits, for the dumplings to cook. You have to keep it covered for 15 minutes. Now, you do it the way you want to do it, but I do it. I cook my dumplings for 15 minutes, and then I take the lid off and I flip them over and cook them for another 5. That's how I like them. And it ensures that everything is all cooked. that's how I do it. And yeah, so that's my chicken and dumplings. And you can make some rice or some egg noodles or whatever you like if you want to, again, stretch your meal. We have to stretch our meals. You know, if we want to feed a lot of people or want our meals to last, you know, sometimes I might only have a dollop of this left. Well, I can just add it over noodles or rice or whatever. Anyways, I'll show you all the end product with a short. I'd almost forgot to put my potatoes in there today. I was making this. I was trying to recall my recipes, and then I forgot completely about adding potatoes. So what I've done is I've made myself in my kitchen. This is another place that I cook at, but in my kitchen, I've made myself a shelf. This is just a little word of advice for people that have memory issues or they're just having a hard time with organizing themselves. I have a shelf, an open shelf, that I keep all of my stuff where I can see it. So I know I'm not out of this or out of that. My essentials that I use almost every day, you know, because sometimes the cupboards are just a little overwhelming for me. So I've put my can opener on there and my couple seasoning and stuff like that, and my certain vegetables, and then I can just look at that shelf and know what I'm out of and what I need more of. And I don't have all these little pockets around the kitchen that I gotta search and look for. Again, make yourself a little area that has all your essentials in it. Same with having a coffee bar or a tea bar. Everything is there. You don't have to go searching around for it. I get very frustrated with things like that. Okay, this is coming up to a boil. And you're not going to put the pot lid on it while you're cooking potatoes. It'll make it too gucky, too starchy. So, this is my pot lid. I always got to check that someone hasn't used it and put it back dirty. That's the life I live. So anyways, I'm going to let you all go. But again, this is my favorite meal. I love it. And I maybe only had it once or twice growing up. And we were going on a trip and we passed by this little diner. I love little diners and things like that. And went in there and I had the best chicken and dumplings and egg noodles that I'd ever tasted. I've never tasted a meal like that in my life. I try to replicate it, but I don't think I will ever be able to do so. I shouldn't really be stirring this while the potatoes are in it. But anyways, my show will get better, but this is a lot of work. I wish I had a camera crew and a prepper. Imagine that. Some of these rich folks have preppers come in and chop everything up for them and put out all the ingredients, and someone else handling the camera angles and lights and all that stuff, and they just have to go in there and throw it all together. Wouldn't that be easy peasy, lemon squeezy? Yes. So we need to support our smaller content creators. These bigger guys with the bigger budgets, they don't need extra money. Start supporting small content creators. It's free to like a post. It's free to like a video. Double tap on it. You don't have to subscribe to the person if you don't want to, but at least double tap and like up their video to put them on this crazy algorithm. There's a gentleman who is hearing impaired, and he's just a lovely man, and he's just trying to make an extra little bit of money. And I don't watch his lives, but guess what I do? I go in there every night almost, and I like up his live. I like his live so that he can get on the algorithm. And you know, it's not necessarily a form of charity. It's just helping someone that's putting some effort in. They're taking time out of their day to make a video, and it's just a good thing to support them. So like I said, you don't have to support me. I'm just doing this to have fun, you know, just to create with myself. But try to reconsider what you're watching on YouTube, and try to support smaller content creators. They deserve it. Have a good day, y'all. Bye.